Ryan and his friend Yanis were stabbed to death in Doncaster City Centre on a night out. In this episode, we talk with the family and friends of Ryan to hear about the impact that this has had on their lives. Can you tell us a bit about your son, what it was like?
Yeah, he was really cheeky chappy, protective over us all, loved his football, just generally happy and loved playing jokes, loved his sisters, and he were a mummy's boy. I dropped him off at 3:30 in the afternoon at his friend's Yanis's. I said, don't be home late, you're at work in the morning. He popped home at 8:30, told me he was just going to a shisha bar. I said, make sure you won't be late. He said, don't worry, I'm not going to be late, I'm only going to shisha bar. I said, all right, love you, and I never seen him again.
What happened that night?
They decided to go round town after the shisha bar. They was coming out of the pub. So all the lads came out. There was a fight break out between Asa and Yanis. Asa dropped his phone. Jahagra picked it up, also pulled a knife out. They got round to the next street. Asa had stopped fighting with Yanis. He then started antagonising Ryan. Ryan suggested, come on then. So he approached Ryan, and Ryan got the first punch in and knocked him to the floor. And then Jahagra came over, slashed his face, and stabbed him straight in the heart.
So your son was stabbed, not sliced first, and then stabbed in the heart. Was that the end of the altercation, or did it continue?
No, Ryan went into the road and collapsed. Jahagra then turned to run after Yanis, chased him down and stabbed him numerous times.
Okay. Did he make it to the hospital, or did he die before?
He was pronounced dead at 3:07, there and then.
There and there. So how did you find out about what happened?
I found out the next morning at 9:30. One of the CID came with a uniformed officer, asked if Ray was home. I said, I don't think so. I think he stayed at a friend's last night. I got my daughter to go and check his bedroom. He wasn't there. She was stood on the stairs. The CID said to me, there was 2 fatalities last night. And I said, oh, Ryan won't be involved in anything like that. She says, well, can I come in? I need to talk to you. So I said, yeah, come on in. I sat down. She says, is there anybody else here? I said, just my daughter. It was like hanging over the stairs. And she says, well, like I said, there was 2 fatalities last night, and we think Ryan's been involved. And I says, well, he's not that kind of person. He'd never be involved in anything like that. I says, and then she got up and she put her hand on my shoulder and said, I'm sorry, it's Ryan. And I went, no. I said, let me ring him out. And I got my phone from in front of me and I rang him. And she said, I just don't suggest you do that. But I rang him anyway. And the phone just kept ringing and ringing.
So at what stage did it sink in that it was actually Ryan that had been murdered?
She got my cousin to come round, who lives on the next street to me. I think I was just in complete shock for months. And even now, I still think he's going to come home. It's hard to explain. I just have this pain here all the time.
Yeah. Did you have to go and view the body?
Yeah, he had a post-mortem. Ryan had the deepest wound of 15 centimetres.
Pretty deep there.
Yeah, punctured his lung straight through his heart.
Can you talk to us a bit about the whole process with court and getting the people, and the people that did it arrested and charged? How was that for you?
It was quite quick at court. We were there a few months after July. We went to court. It was supposed to be a 5-day trial. Ended up being 2 weeks. He thought it was really funny in court. Didn't think, there was no remorse. Didn't think anything of it. Just thought he was so big and hard in front of his mates. It was all laughing and jeering, you know. Even his mother laughed. He got 24 years, which I weren't pleased with, and neither was the police, to be fair. They said they was going to appeal straight away, and I also appealed. And then December, we got to go to the High Court, and they gave him another 2 years. 26 years for 2 people is not enough. Nowhere near enough. One of them boys were only 17 years old, and Ryan was 19. They had the whole lives ahead of them. Ryan had just been making plans the week before, saying that he wanted to take us to New York. But that'll never happen now, so I'm going to try and go for it.
What social media been like? Because you showed me a page. Was it a page or a profile? Can you talk a bit about that, please?
Yes, there was a profile made up in the name of Roman Smith with a profile picture of Yanis in his open coffin. It's got Ryan and Yanis on bags of edibles, slating them, slagging Ryan and Yanis's friends off, just disgusting.
Did you think that you would, or he would, become a victim of knife crime?
Never. But, you know, he was worried about it.
He was worried himself about it?
Yeah, he always said that he was worried about being a victim of knife crime.
I don't wanna see another mother cry for a son. What happened to a one-on-one? Now it's live by the gun or die by the gun, or worst kids end up with a knife in the lungs. Yeah, I get it, you gang, you stack prof. Got a rep on the roads, get your mash. Never leaving your house without a touch. Reason being, you're too afraid to catch pops. Little brothers need to man up. Keep the city still, let chef stand up. Don't take a brother's life, cause you're afraid to have a fight. Then go jail and take battle. So all the falling, I'm hoping you're in a better place. But I don't wanna see another soul separate. So all my that I lost to this road thing, have a roll for me at heaven's gates. Look at the state, fully disgraced. Feds are locking all my off the estate. Look at the state, I want something to change. I don't wanna see another brother touching the grave. Well, not before we got to. Boundaries, barriers, we're gonna smash through. And if you got a voice, I'ma ask you. Say something, you might save another badge.
I just wanted to try and do it.
You did. We got your jumper out. Can you remember what his face was like when he saw that you bought it in for that Christmas?
He chose it. It was a True Religion tracksuit.
Okay.
He wanted navy blue. He loved navy blue and black, black and gold, and that's what the dress code was at funeral as well.
Oh, was it? Black and gold? Are his friends still in contact with you and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're supportive?
Yeah.
That's good, that.
Look after Jasmine as well on streets.
Oh, do they? Yeah, I bet that's good. Bet she appreciates that quite a lot.
Yeah, especially when they give her money. You know, I've had a couple of lads have said, "Are you all right for money?" You know, and one of the young lads put the work, you know, and "Are you sure you don't need no money?" "No, I'm all right, thanks."
Do you have that up anywhere in your house?
Yeah, I've got like a long sideboard,
Yeah.
and it's on there. That's in the middle, and then I've got a football photo of him at Rovers there, and then the school photograph on this side. I've got a cabinet with all the trophies in. A picture of him in Jaden, in Tunisia. He sits with me in the kitchen. Yeah, so he stays sitting next to me. Get paid on a Friday, all his money would be gone by Saturday.
So it's like when you're young, don't you? You live for tomorrow, or you live at weekend, that's about it. And that's all.
He'd had a couple of Saturdays off, and I'd said to him, that's why we made a point of saying, "Make sure you're home."
Yeah.
And he says, "I don't worry, I'll be home." Go through that stage of guilt though, don't you? Because I think, because I woke up at 2:30 that morning, and I said I should have rang him and asked him if he needed picking up.
Yeah, there's nothing you could do. There's absolutely nothing. There was, I know, I bet you play it back and think this different, think the other different, but it is how it is, and that's unfortunately how it happens. And you were thinking different things like that. It won't change it. It just makes you feel worse, you know. Maybe if he never went out, maybe if he didn't meet that guy in the first place, maybe all that happened didn't happen, something else would have happened, you know. And it's just, I think you're doing really, really well. You're so strong and brave. And a lot of people, they don't like to talk about it, but it's people like you that are talking about it. The minute people don't want to talk, and that's the problem. You don't really get to see the reality. Even when they show it on the news and the TV, they'll just show a snippet of someone upset or someone crying. That doesn't show nothing. It just shows that somebody's upset. It doesn't actually show the full extent of how devastating it is and how it crushes people's worlds.
Just seeing my friend, broken, she's such a wonderful person and a lovely, caring person that was actually the first thing that I thought when I found out was actually what this is going to do to Lisa, because knowing her as I do, I just remember thinking this is not fair for her. She's struggled her whole life with one thing and the other, with a disability, but also struggled financially. But in the midst of all that, she's got these beautiful children who just did not deserve this, And I just remember thinking, how is she going to get past this? He was a mummy's boy and her only son. And for her to lose him so senselessly like this, I just remember thinking, I've just got to, try and be the best friend that I possibly can to try and get her through this, because I don't know if she'll survive it,
What kind of things did you do to help her out?
As her friend, I just went round to her house every single day just to make sure that she was not going to do anything silly or sink into a deep, dark depression, because sometimes I'd just open the door and she'd just be sat there in the dark, and it was a worry. So we just made sure that I just tried to keep her as occupied as possible, to just not sit and think about it for too long, So it was mainly just to keep her as occupied as possible. We'd just do anything, take her out with the kids, go anywhere, just to keep her mind busy for the first few months.
Yeah, helped to clean Ryan's bedroom out.
Yeah.
How was that? Did Lisa help you do that, or did you do that by yourself?
So Ryan died in the January, and we did it in the October. So it was just kept shut for a time. And for the first few months, like I say, I just tried to help Lisa in the house and just help her, clean up and things like that. But we never went in Ryan's room. And then one day when I came round, she just said, "Will you do it?" Because I think she was just ready in her own mind. She just needed to do it, but she just couldn't do it. And one thing that was really upsetting, obviously going through a person's personal belongings in their home. And for me, it felt like I was weirdly invading his privacy, and he's not there anymore, but I felt a bit guilty, going through his stuff, because that's his stuff, but also knowing it needed to be done. You feel guilty throwing stuff out because it's their stuff, but also what can you do? They're not here anymore. And one thing that just really, just made me realise when I was doing it was that he was just such a normal boy. There was nothing weird in his room. There was nothing out of the ordinary at all. He just had football stuff in there, an Xbox, nothing in there that said anything about him being in any kind of trouble or in a gang or nothing. He was just a normal lad who lived at home with his mum, who went out on a night out and didn't ever end up coming back to his bedroom, It was hard. It's very difficult for Lisa still living in a house where her son's room's still there, empty,
I don't wanna see another mother cry for a son. What happened to a one-on-one? Now it's live by the gun or die by the gun, or worse, kids end up with a knife in the lungs. Yeah, I get it, you gang, you stack prof. Got a rep on the road.
At first, when they told us, I didn't really believe it. So when they said, we were in shock, and we actually thought he was upstairs in his room. So I ran up and checked in his room, and he weren't there. And that's when it was just okay, maybe it's just his mates or something. And then that's when it started getting serious. And sometimes it still doesn't feel real. It's better to think that it's not real and he's just at work or is just out somewhere. But deep down I know it's true, he's not coming back. But at the same time, it's better and easier to think that he's just out with his mates or he's at work, getting money and having fun. Because he actually liked his job for once.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's sad, but if you think about it, if you properly deep it, he wouldn't want me, crying. He'd want me to have him inside of me and, make Mum and my sister happy. So, look after Mum and look after the dogs, clean the house, go out, have fun, but obviously be careful, and obviously defend myself. So.
And how old are you? 13? That's a very, very good mindset to have at 13. It's quite a mature one as well. Yeah, I think that's a good way of looking at it. When I've talked to other people, they kind of say the same thing, where even though their loved one's not here anymore, they're still alive within them, and that's what powers them to keep doing good. How's things at school and stuff? Are you doing all right at school?
School's just hard. It's more of the fact that I have to wake up early because I do struggle getting to sleep most nights. Because what it was, when it happened, he came home, he was out with his mates, and then he came home to put his coat away actually, and he said he's going to Shisha. So I like, okay, and I'm actually so happy that the last thing I did was actually give him a hug and go to the window and wave bye to him. And I'm actually like thankful I did that.
Yeah.
Because it was actually like a nice last goodbye, if that makes sense. But, yeah.
What advice would you give to someone that's your age, that's gone through the same thing, that's finding it really difficult?
Well, my mate has actually just, in a way, gone through the same thing. Like, and I am trying to help him, but I don't really know what to say because it is the same thing. He's lost his brother as well, but at the same time, it's not in the same way. So it's hard to help someone, but when you've lost someone that's like your sibling, it's always different, like between parents or cousins or siblings, grandparents. But with siblings, it's hard, like, because you like proper like that no matter what. But when you're trying to help them, you don't know what to say when you've lost one yourself, because it's hard to explain like what you're feeling when you still like haven't found it in yourself. But you do know what to say, you just don't know how to explain it. So like, usually I'll just say, I know how it feels to lose a sibling, and if you want to try talk about it, you can talk to me. But it's hard to help, like when you don't know how to explain it. When it's unexpected, like if you have a medical condition, it's in a way it's expected. Yeah. But when it's a murder, it's no one's expecting to wake up in the morning with CID at your door saying that so-and-so has died. Like, when I woke up, I saw them at the door, so I'm thinking, what's going on? And then at first they're saying that he killed someone, and that just didn't make sense at all. Yeah, he had some anger issues, which have sadly been passed on to me. But, like, and then switching it up, saying he's the one that's died, that's what hurts, because first of all, he won't kill anyone, no matter how angry he got. He don't have the heart for that. No one should have the heart for that, realistically. But then switching up and saying that he died, that's just mood switch. And like, you don't know how to think about it. Because you don't know what's true. Like, has he killed someone or has he died? And then it's ended up that he's died, and it's just not really fair. Like, it's unrealistic.
Obviously, what happened to your brother was really bad, and I was speaking to your mum, and she told me about the group of guys that did it. They still don't get on with like your brother's friends. Does that ever worry you when you go out, or don't you think about it?
Yeah, actually, because the boys that like were there and have like an argument with the boys from our area, the ones that were helping are actually hanging around in the parks near my house. And it's actually like scary because I have to walk through them parks, like to get to a bus stop or to like walk into town with my mates. And that park is like one of the main parks, like that's the big park, Enfield Park, and that is where they're chilling all the time. But there is another park next to Asda, which we also do go, but for some reason they're like parking up there and watching. And I remember I was walking down the street with my friend to go to the park, and they were there driving and they were watching us, and I said to my friend, I think that's like them. And then they had all the bellies on, and there were one person there were two people that didn't have it on, and one of them put it on. And the only reason I knew it was them is because when I went to court with Mum, he was there. So that's how I like knew it was them. So I'm like, quickly pretend you've thrown whatever I had in my pocket. So like we could just run, because they started driving slowly behind us. So he pretended to throw it. And then they pulled up and got out the car, all in black, in the valleys, and it's like, oh my God. It was like scary. So he didn't actually throw the thing though, and we just ran for it.
Has anybody been into your school to talk to like your classes and stuff about knife crime?
Not really. We did have the police like come to our school on Friday, but I missed a bit of it, and they did say about knives and guns, like how long you would get maximum, and that's only 3 months. And I was like, surely that's not right.
If someone like me went in and did a talk about knife crime and then played them like this interview, what we've done, do you think that would have an impact on kids your age and make them think about carrying a knife or talk to their friend about carrying a knife?
I reckon some people, like, if they're in a group, I reckon they'd laugh at it. But deep down, I think they'd deep it and be like, okay, maybe I should actually stop carrying a knife. Or like whatever they're carrying. Like I reckon they're trying to act big and hard in front of the mates when they're really, really not. They're actually just a bit pathetic. But I reckon like deep inside, they're gonna properly deep it and be like, okay, I need to switch up.
I don't wanna see another mother cry for a son. What happened to a one-on-one? Now it's live by the gun or die by the gun, or worst kids end up with a knife in the lungs. Yeah, I get it, you gang, you stack prof. Got a rep on the roads, get your mash. Never leaving your house without a touch. Reason being, you're too afraid to catch box. Little brothers need to man up. Keep the city still, let chef stand up. Don't take a brother's life, cause you're afraid to have a fight. Then go jail and take battle. So all the falling, I'm hoping you're in a better place. But I don't wanna see another soul separate. To all my that I lost to this raw team, have a roll for me at heaven's gates. Look at the state, fully disgraced. Feds are locking all my off the estate. Look at the state, I want someone to change. I don't wanna see another brother touching the grave. Well, not before we got to. Boundaries, barriers, we're gonna smash through. And if you got a voice, I'ma ask you. Say something, you might save another badge.
Get your hands up off the. Get your hands around the book. Move your mama right the hood like a real gangster would. You're a grown man now, you don't need to act up. What type of man needs to cram it with the gang to act tough? You know you take a risk when you're handling the. What type of idiot will have to gamble with the life? Play the pantomime alright, acting gangster till you die. All fun and games until they you on the side. Tell my young bucks careful who they're sitting round. Talk and that's all they spit about. Yeah, they call it trap, you know why they call it trap. Car man falls in, it's hard to get out. Put the stick down and get your life figured out before you end up with inside sticking out. Them that you're with now, they won't stick around. Only time the God cares when they stick you in the ground.
Boundaries, barriers, we're gonna smash through. And if you got a voice, I'ma ask you. Say something, you might save another bad you.
You ever know a brother that I never leave without her? She even had a name, sharp face when she's around you. He said that she protects him when the streets are causing drama, but the truth lies deep when she's scared she's not around you. I tell him all the time she's not so good for him, but then he tells me I'm scared and needs some comforting. I know you got some troubles you need capturing, but never let them capture her. She is a masculine, she is a short thin that is attached to him. You need to push her to the side before she crashes in. All these lives that she took, she'll always have her sins. All this city needs his love, just let it settle in. He's out there on the roads with his face not bare. His black Air Force with his thick gold chain. His shoes not tied, he's got fear in his eyes, cause this cold dark world has got a hold of his life.